Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of The Articulate Fly, and we're back with another Central Virginia fishing report with Ethan Martin from TaleTellers Fly Shop. How you doing, Ethan?
I'm doing great today. How you doing today?
As always, just trying to stay out of trouble. How was your 4th?
Oh, it was pretty fun. It was nothing too crazy. Watched some fireworks with the family, and I fished, a couple of days, but that just comes with any time off usually.
Yeah, I tell you, the great thing is I can't remember what day of the week it was. I think it might have been Friday or Saturday where it was really nice in Central Virginia. It wasn't too hot and there wasn't a lot of humidity.
Yeah, we had the downtown Lynchburg fireworks. That's the night that they were, and so it felt awesome. It was like you enjoyed being outside, and you're not sweating the entire time. So yeah. I was thankful for that, and the fishing that day was actually pretty decent.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going back to the seasonal pattern where it's going to be warm and humid and, pop up thunderstorms. So, what are you seeing on the water? We were talking before you started recording that trout fishing is pretty much done for everybody. So we're really talking about warm water species. And what are you seeing?
Yeah, we've actually had pretty decent days out the past 2 weeks, really, which has been kind of shocking. In the shop, I hear reports on both sides of everything. Like, people come in and they haven't caught fish, but then people that do come in have had pretty good days in on fishing on the James and the tributaries primarily. And then myself included in that, I've had the past week out. I guess I've been out 4 times, and every time had actually some decent numbers, which I was happy about. So yesterday, between myself and another angler, we ended up catching 25 in 4 hours, which for smallmouth fishing, I was happy with that. It worked for me. I was happy with 2. I was happy after the first one, but and the bite's been pretty good too. But it's primarily focused on bait fish patterns and then some poppers. The cicadas. Again, we're not getting the crazy Brodex hatch, which is pretty much over or is over. We get these annual cicadas, which have just started coming pretty much full force here in Lynchburg. And those are the ones that are kind of olive and white looking to them. So if you've got poppers in, chartreuse or white color, those will start doing well. But, usually I've had some of my best popper days later in the summer, and the fall, pretty much when the cicadas are actually dying off. But with lower water, which is where we're at right now, fishing topwater stuff has done pretty well. And so one of the other things we've been doing is bait fish patterns with the slider heads, pretty much just throw white. It's not really crazy stuff, but it's a lot of fun, and it's been pretty decent numbers on that and big fish as well. So I would be throwing those, and then your typical Clouser style bait fish or half and half have been fishing well. Now, and one thing that I've noticed too is people that are coming into the shop are showing me the stuff that they're throwing, and the typical thing for forever has been throw giant flies, catch giant fish, and that's pretty much true with trout and everything. With smallmouth, it seems to be a little bit different because the past 2 years I've fished a lot of smaller bait fish patterns and caught big fish and numbers as well, which I like that overlapping size. So it's really a 3 to 4 inch fly is what I've been using more than your 5 or these huge patterns, and that's because our bait fish in our river systems aren't you're not seeing tons of these massive fish. Like yesterday at the boat ramp we were at, if you look down at the boat ramp, there was 1 long to 2 inch long bait fish everywhere. I mean, it was pretty crazy. And so first thing we did is put on a 2 inch Clouser that we had, and we caught fish pretty much right away. And so yeah, it's just paying attention to the stuff that's happening around you, and then fishing that. You don't have to show up and throw these 5 inch long things and just have a grueling day. But yeah, it's been fishing pretty well, and I've been happy with it anyway. And so I'd recommend for other people, get out and fish.
Got it. And so for your, I guess what I would say your weighted streamers like your Clousers as opposed to fishing like a white slider in on top, is that a time of day? Are you fishing those earlier before it really heats up, or are you using it to fish kind of deeper holes?
So pretty much how I do things, which is just my personal preference. If I want to see them eat on the surface, then I'm just going to throw that surface thing in pretty much all day. And as dumb as it is, it's pretty variety. And obviously, the evenings and mornings are always usually bigger times for your fish that are feeding. So if you can focus in on that time and then throw like a slider style pattern, you're going to catch more fish. If you're fishing like midday, then typically all your big fish are going to either hit the shade line or then they're going to go deep. So if those are the fish that you're trying to target and you want to have the highest chance possible, then I would throw something that's going to get down deep. But if you just want to have some fun, go out after work one evening, you can just wade fish even, and throw that slider style fly, and you will be shocked, with how many fish that eat it. In fact, I was talking to a couple of people that were. Well, I'm trying to debate if I should share this story, but yeah, I'll share it. Why not? I know some conventional anglers that fish a lot of tournaments, and one of the things that they catch a ton of fish on, and have actually won some tournaments on, is like the whopper ploppers and the Zara spooks, and that's in the conventional world. But if you just take the same concept and then apply that to fly fishing, these guys are catching big fish on Zara spooks and then the whopper ploppers. So, it's one of those things I think a lot of people don't have confidence in it. But when you start to just go out one day and say, all I'm going to do is throw a topwater bait fish, and that's all I'm going to do, you will be shocked with just how many fish you pick up, especially in areas where you've got some riffled water or there's like a little bit of cover or structure where those fish can congregate around. If it's like this giant open flat, then, it's not going to be quite as effective. At least I haven't had it be quite as effective. But yeah, it's just like some little things like that. If you hear people that are using conventional tactics, just copy what they're doing because they work, and it's going to work regardless of, what you have on the end of your line or what you're casting it with. It's just all about the technique and how that technique causes the reaction strike, which is primarily, I think, what's happening with those fish see a wounded bait fish on the surface. And again, the bait fish styles that I'm throwing, these sliders, they're not big. It's like a 3-inch long slider, basically. I'll probably put out a video or something a little later in the year. But yeah, it's just go out there and tie some stuff up or buy some stuff. And like a Todd's Wiggle Minnow, it's a great pattern. So yeah.
Well, there you go. And, folks, we love questions at the Articulate Fly. You can email them to us or send them to us on our Facebook or our Instagram page. If we use your question, I'll send you some Articulate Fly swag, and we will enter you a drawing for something cool from the shop at the end of the season. And before I let you hop, Ethan, why don't you let folks know where the store's located, hours, and all that kind of good stuff?
So the shop right now is in downtown Lynchburg on Commerce Street. So if you're in downtown or just in Lynchburg, pretty easy to find, and if you can get through all the construction up on Main Street. But it's a cool little town. There's coffee shops, food, all sorts of fun stuff, and then us, of course, and the river. That makes it even easier for you. So we're also found online. So if you can't, make it to Lynchburg, but there's something that you are interested in, a product or just a question even, then you can shoot us an email. It's pretty easy. You just hop on our website, which is TaleTellersVA.com, and then scroll to the bottom, hit contact. That sends an email straight to me. Of course, you can also call the shop. The number's on our website. Then other ways you can stay in contact is going to be Facebook or Instagram. We're pretty active on both those things. So yeah, pretty easy to get in touch with.
Well, there you go. Folks, and if you've been lucky enough to get a little extra time off after the 4th of July holiday, you owe it to yourself to get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Ethan.
Tight lines.